But what it tells me about just talking about these teams, there's some really, really good teams in there and well-supported teams as well. So looking at those first weekend fixtures, it excites me about the type of places that we'll be going and also the fact that these fans will be coming to our ground as well to experience the atmosphere. So I think it's going to be a really, really interesting season.
So welcome back to Small Heath Alliance FC. And at 9 o'clock this morning, the EFL released all the fixtures for the League One season, which, as we know, Birmingham City are getting prepared for right now. And in this video, we're going to discuss a little bit about the opening weekend, which, of course, is going to involve all the clubs in the division. And then we're going to delve deeper into Birmingham City, some of the key dates and some of the key fixtures. So, Dad, the fixtures have only been released for a couple of hours. What are your thoughts when you read that initial list for the fixtures and key dates?
Well, there's certain things in life that you get really excited about. So when you're a kid, you get excited about Christmas. And then as you get older and you start to love football, you look forward to the third round draw of the FA Cup. Everyone's looking at that. And the fixtures is another one of those moments. It's really exciting. And even though Birmingham City are in League One, I'm sure we're all Blues fans. You're just keen to know who we're playing and when we're going to play them. And we now have that information. And that's what we're going to discuss now. I think you said you want to start off with the opening weekend fixtures. So should we do that first and then go into some of the key Birmingham City opponents and dates for those? So,
I think so, yeah.
So I've got the fixtures for the first week. One thing that struck me as surprising, and this is information we got from Sky Sports website in terms of the first opening weekend of League One, they'll kick off at 5:30 p.m. That surprised me.
Yeah.
In a way, I thought, didn't disappoint me, but I just like 3 o'clock Saturday kickoffs. I don't know what you think, but every single fixture, apart from the ones that are likely to be moved for football, we know that one will probably be picked for Friday, and the rest will be on a Saturday.
Yeah, I'm like you, Dad. I'm old school. 3 o'clock Saturday, you cannot beat that time and that fixture. But I think it's to do with the TV rights. I think the EFL signed a new package of TV deals, didn't they, this year? So I think the 5 o'clock kickoff is to do with the new deal that the EFL have signed for TV.
5:30.
5:30, sorry.
But it is what it is, isn't it? And it's not going to dampen the.
If anything, we can probably get the train and have a couple more beers than we usually would because you know, make a bit of a day of it.
Well, the surprise is that there was a lot of speculation based upon the release of the Premier League fixtures last week that because of when Aston Villa were playing, that Birmingham City would be away. But in fact, actually, our first fixture is at home to Reading.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that?
Well, it's funny because, and I mean this, absolute no disrespect to other teams in the division, but because we've been a championship team, when the fixtures came out, you know, you've seen Mansfield, there's no disrespect about Mansfield and Wrexham and Lincoln, and because we've been used to like your Stoke and your Leicesters and your Southamptons last season, I think they all kind of took me a little bit by surprise. But Reading is a little bit closer to home because I feel like we only played them a couple of seasons ago because they were in the championship. So actually, it feels like a nice adaptation to League One. It feels like a familiar fixture to me. So I'm quite happy with Reading at home. I think that's a good fixture to start with.
I remember last time we played them a few seasons ago, we were 3-0 up at half-time and we ended up hanging on at the end because they got 2 goals, didn't they? We were hanging on, weren't we, to get a draw. So hoping that, that doesn't happen again. But there's an interesting fixture to start with. I mean, at the end of the day, you've got to play them all at home and away anyway.
Yeah.
Other fixtures in League One, Bristol Rovers against Northampton. I'll just read a few out. Burton versus Lincoln, Crawley Blackpool, Exeter against relegated Rotherham, so Rotherham away in their first game of the season. Leighton Orient for Bolton. Bolton are strongly favoured or fancied to do well this season. And Peterborough versus Huddersfield. I'll do the rest in a minute, but Huddersfield are also away. I think that if I could pick a fixture to me in the opening weekend that sort of draws out in terms of teams that are likely to do well together, it would be Peterborough and Huddersfield.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be an interesting first game away for Huddersfield.
Yeah, I think the tone's going to be set immediately, isn't it, from the get-go? I think it's going to be fast. It's going to be an interesting opening weekend. And to be honest with you, even just having this conversation right now, because I know it's been a grim couple of months. We've had to adapt to getting relegated. We're in League One. But now the fixtures have been released, I feel like I've got a fresh lease of life again. And, you know, people watch this podcast out and sometimes they say, you know, maybe we're a bit too positive and a bit too happy when, things aren't going great. But when you get the fixtures, it does give an extra positive, happy spin on it, doesn't it? Because we can start to prepare now for next season. We know what we're up against. We know who we're playing. Me and you can start to plan some away days on a more selfish note, which I'm really excited for. And the opening weekend is going to be great. I can't wait. And as you say, Huddersfield are going to want to get off to a flyer. Bolton are going to Wrexham. There's a couple of teams in there who are going to want to set a standard to set an example for the rest of the league. And Blues as well. We're going to want to have to make a statement, I think, in our first game as well.
Yeah, I think so. And, I don't know about being positive all the time. If anybody's new to the channel, just go and look at some of our videos from last season. We weren't positive on a lot of occasions, by the way. We just try to be honest and real as
Just
we can.
glass half full,
But we
isn't it?
did try and be glass half full. Just to finish off those fixtures then for the opening weekend, 4 more.
Yeah.
Stevenage against Shrewsbury, Stockport County against Cambridge. Again, Stockport have been fairly highly fancied this year. Wigan against Charlton will be a good game as well.
That'll be a good game.
And the final one, Wrexham against Wycombe. And that's an interesting fixture as well. Obviously, everybody's thinking Wrexham are going to carry on with the momentum that they bought from the last 2 seasons.
Yeah. There's 3 teams in there that you said are going to that are dubbed to do quite well. Charlton are dubbed playoffs and automatics. Wrexham are dubbed to do quite well as well, and Stockport. Because they recently got promoted from League Two, didn't they?
Yeah.
They're dubbed not to do well in terms of automatics and promotion, but they're dubbed to not automatically go straight back down. So again, it'd be interesting to see how these teams get off the mark in the first game of the season.
As you know, Matt, as Birmingham City supporters, any fans of any other clubs watching this podcast, as you know, this is a new division for us. We haven't been in this league for many years now. But what it tells me about just talking about these teams, there's some really, really good teams in there and well supported teams as well. So looking at those first weekend fixtures, it excites me about the type of places that we'll be going, and also the fact that these fans will be coming to our ground as well, to experience the atmosphere. So I think it's going to be a really interesting season.
Absolutely. I mean, if we just delve into the Blues for a little minute, obviously we mentioned about Reading being on the opening weekend, and me and you were chatting last year, weren't we, Dad, about when we did get relegated, about what stadiums we might want to go to, what away days we might want to put higher up on the list. It's really interesting. You said that you really fancy going to Wycombe away, and I said I fancy going to Leyton Orient away, and they happen to be our first 2 away games of the season coming in. So
we'll come on to that now actually as well.
Times.
I mean, you obviously Birmingham City released a graphic showing all the fixtures.
I'll put that on the screen now.
That'll go on the screen right now, so you can see yourself. So starting off in August, our fixtures are, so obviously as we said, we start at home to Reading. Then the following Saturday we're away to Wycombe. Then we are away again the following weekend to Leyton Orient, and then August finishes with a home game against Wigan Athletic. So, of course, these fixtures, we expect, as we always do, that some of these are going to be moved. Because this is what they currently show now, but when the TV get involved, so I really EFL or Sky, if you're watching this, please don't move too many to Fridays. I hate Friday fixtures. It's just a personal thing. I just don't like Friday fixtures, but I know for a fact, because of the extra coverage in the EFL this season, us and other teams in League One are going to have to stomach Friday night fixtures, unfortunately.
And again, this doesn't mean to be arrogant, but because we are going to be a big team in League One, we will get selected for more TV, I think, than most teams. And when Rooney came to Blues last year, all of our fixtures started getting changed all around because they wanted us to be on telly more. So it does happen. They have signed a new TV deal, so I have no doubt, even though this is the fixtures they've released this morning, stuff will get moved around. I've got a feeling stuff will get moved around quite aggressively as well. We will have quite a few little shifts as the season goes on.
I think we have to take these fixtures that we're looking at right now today that have been released as the weekends of the fixtures, but knowing that they're not going to be the exact day. Wouldn't it be wonderful? I mean, obviously, I'm of the older generation. I remember 3:00 kickoffs on a Saturday, and that's all it used to be. There was no TV coverage, and it was just so simple. It was so nice.
You say old school. I'm a 34, and I much prefer Saturday at 3:00 game. I think it's embedded in.
Yeah, but you're old compared to some of our viewers.
maybe so. Yeah, but the Saturday 3:00 is a classic English football fixture time, isn't it? You know where you stand, you know what you're doing.
I just
you
love
can go
it.
have some food before, go have a beer. It's 3:00 Saturday. It's just brilliant. You cannot beat it. And for me, I feel like the Friday games. The reason why I hate Friday games so much, and especially because we've had such a bad 13 years prior, is that when you lose on a Friday, it makes your weekend just drag and feel awful because you've lost ahead of all of them.
It's brilliant though if you win.
Yeah,
but we
you
never
do.
did. Well, we did actually. We beat Huddersfield or West Brom on Friday.
A couple of sprinkled in there.
We did have a few, but it is depressing. And then you have to wait for everybody else to win and catch you up. It's horrible, isn't it? But it is what it is. We can't do anything about it. If they move into Fridays, we're going to have to stomach it. When we get to September, Matt, again, the plan is we're not going to go through every single fixture. Just pick out some key ones. So when we get to September, away to Exeter, which will be probably our longest
That's
trip.
the longest trip, yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously fans from other clubs, we know that you travel more than us. We are based right in the centre of the country, obviously, in Birmingham, so our travel is a lot. So we fully respect anybody that has to travel long distances, but Exeter happens to be one of our longer trips. So that is on the Saturday, the 7th of September.
Yeah.
Then we got Wrexham at home on the 14th of September. So I think that'll be, I've got a feeling that game will be moved.
It will.
That'll almost definitely be moved. And then our nemesis, one of the bad memories from last year, Rotherham away.
Yeah.
Oh my word!
That was a bit of pill, weren't it? Because we had that offside goal. It just the elation when that went in, and then to have it flagged offside, and that would have made all the difference.
They'll be stronger as well.
They will be.
Well, stronger.
They've made 8 signings this summer, and don't get me wrong. No disrespect to Rotherham. Fair play, by the way, for getting in early and getting some players in, but but they haven't signed world-class players, but they are developing their squad. They are at least being proactive in the market, and I respect that. So Rotherham aren't going to be pushovers. In fact, if you go back to our previous video, I've dubbed Rotherham to do very well and rob one of the automatic spaces.
I think a lot of people have, and I agree with you. I think they will as well. To finish off in September, we have Peterborough at home, and again, now they're always a team that are in and around the playoffs. Peterborough, in fact, they get into the playoffs, but they don't really seem to progress beyond that. And of course, we've got the link with Barry Fry as well.
I literally just, I quite like Peterborough. I have a soft spot because of the link with Barry Fry.
So we're looking forward to seeing Barry at St.Andrews. He's always very, very welcome. Into October, we've got 6 fixtures in October. It's a really, really busy month. I'm not going to read out them all, but obviously we've got Huddersfield at home, another team that fancy to be up there as well. Charlton, Bolton, Mansfield are in there as well.
It's a tough. That's a big month, isn't it? That is. October's going to be a big month for this club.
It is, yeah. I mean, November we've only got 3 fixtures, which I don't know why.
Could be international breaks and all sorts. Oh,
we're in League One now.
International breaks.
Well, they do apply. I think you have to have over a certain amount of international players to have your game postponed, but the league still carries on. Reality check, Matt. League One now. Northampton, Stevenage, and Shrewsbury. We've got the first 2 are at home, the second one away. Now December's away. I always look at December because December's it's always a busy period, and always that's the festive period, isn't it? As well, and we like the.
I love Christmas period.
Apart from thanks Birmingham City, Stoke City at home, and Boxing Day last season ruined our Christmas. But this Christmas, Boxing Day, we have Burton Albion at home.
Yeah.
So that's the home fixture. Then we are also at home to Blackpool on Sunday the 29th of December.
Nice.
And then when we get into the January first New Year's Day fixture, is away to Stockport County.
Okay, interesting. The reverse fixture of Blackpool is going to be in April. So away day, hot day in Blackpool. That sounds like a little bit of a fun getaway for the day, don't it? That'd be nice.
Blackpool away.
Blackpool away is going to be in April.
Yeah.
So,
well, don't forget we have
cool.
played them for a number of seasons when they were in the Championship as well. So there is a lot of familiar fixtures.
They thumped us, didn't they, at Bloomfield Road 6-1. And I remember watching Davo's documentary or the videos he put. I think they were 1 or 2-0 up before they even got in the stadium. So it was a particularly bad one.
We're hoping for better times. But just to reiterate, Christmas then. So we play Crawley away on the 21st of December. So that's the pre-Christmas.
Getting past Gatwick near that time of Christmas is going to be a nightmare. Isn't it?
I know that's a bit of a from our point of view, it's not a difficult journey, but it's just traffic at that time of year around there. And as I said, Burton at home on Boxing Day, then Blackpool at home on the 29th, and then New Year's Day away to Stockport. And I'm looking forward to going to Stockport. Obviously, they're a team that have come up from the National League through Division 2.
Dave Chandler's their manager.
A little bit trajectory of not as quick as, but very similar to Wrexham. So they're doing quite well, and they're getting a good reputation for playing decent football as well. So that'll be a nice away fixture for New Year's Day, and then we have again just to pick a few out from January. We've got listen to this: the January the 25th, which is Saturday, away to Wrexham, and then a few days later away to Huddersfield on the Tuesday.
Okay. That's a shame.
I know we struggle for midweek away games because of work, but we'll try and make a few if we can. But I mean, I think there's a run of fixtures there, which is the last 2 in January, all of February, and the first one in March. 7 fixtures against teams that are going to be challenged. So we've got a row of fixtures again. We don't know because obviously the season hasn't started yet. Because teams, as you know, are often tipped to do really well and fall flat on the face. Like, that could be any team. But those fixtures include Wrexham, followed by Huddersfield, followed by Rotherham, followed by Peterborough, followed by Charlton, followed by Reading, followed by Wickham.
It's a big month, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's
big
like 2 of those at the end of January, 4 of them in February, and then and then Bolton after that as well. So that's 2 in March. At the end of the day, Matt, you got to play them all home and away, and don't forget these teams have to play each other as well. So they're all going to drop points and win games as well. So it's going to be a very, very competitive league. And of course, what we always do is look at the running as well, don't we? See who we've got towards the last few games of the season. It's a bit difficult for us this season as well, because when we're in the Championship, because we know the Championship so well, you go, oh, that's a tough game. That's blah, blah, blah. But it's really, really difficult in League One. It's hard to predict. But if I go through the April and then the final fixture in May, show you what we got. So in April the 1st, we are Tuesday. We're away to Bristol Rovers.
Okay.
Then we are at home to Barnsley on Saturday, the 5th of April. Then we're away to Blackpool, the fixture you mentioned, on the 12th of April. Then we're at home to Crawley on Friday, April the 18th. I think that's probably Good Friday.
Yeah.
Then we are away to Burton on the 21st of April, and then home to Mansfield on the 25th. And we finish our last game of the season on the 3rd of May away to Cambridge United.
Again, social media, Blues fans, the fixtures have only been up for 45 minutes, and people already comment, can't wait for the promotion party at Cambridge away. As in, it's a total wind-up. It's just a joke. But, the Blues fans, as I say, don't take themselves too seriously. But, again, another... You could say it for all sections, say it's going to be a tough division, but I think for Blues, it's going to be an extra tough division because we haven't been at this level for so long. So there's going to be I keep saying a readaptation period. We're going to have to get used to long balls, parking the bus, crosses in the box, big physical players. These are the things that as a team we're going to have to get used to. And I know Chris Davies is doing his research. He knows how to set up. He knows what he wants. He knows his style of play. But I think this is going to be a long season, actually. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean there's going to be some speed bumps along the way.
There will be.
100% there is. And I think we could get off to a slightly slower start just by the nature of us, new manager, big changes, transition into the division. I'm sure when we get going, we're going to be absolutely fine. I still think we're going to bounce back. I really do. Just confidence there. But it's interesting to see the fixtures. I'm excited. I can't wait to start penning in some away days with you, Dad, seeing where and when we can go.
Yeah.
And I'm for one, really looking forward to this season.
Yeah, me too. And so the fixtures are now out. We know who we got to play, when we got to play them. So it does actually really make it real now, doesn't it? And exactly. And also as well, it's just that anticipation now of the new season. We'll be itching for the 10th of August to come around to get that first game, a league game in. So
it's only 6 weeks away. It's going to fly by.
Yeah.
Before we know it, we'll be back in St.Andrews at Knighthead Park in a new stadium in the context of all the changes, and we're going to be there ready for kickoff.
Let's hope we can get a few more players in as well in the meantime.
Yeah, and because it's 5:30 kickoff, we'll probably have 3 or 4 points there to enjoy the journey with us as well.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, so nothing more for me. I mean, I'm just excited, to be honest, and can't wait for the season to start now.
Brilliant. So that's what we think, Blues fans. But as always, we'd love to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the fixtures? Are you happy with them? Is there certain fixtures you're looking forward to? Are you optimistic now about the season ahead? As I said, drop us a comment, and me and Dad love getting around to those and getting back to you as soon as we can. And if you haven't already, please check us out on our social media channels. We have an X page and an Instagram page with the handles popping up on the screen right now. And if you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss any future content all about Birmingham City. And me and Dad will see you on the next video.